lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to shout out all the people who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeranism, Kirsten Smith, Life is Short, Matt, Michael, Paige, Reinhardt, Renee, Sam Hine, Skeptic936, Sweet Equity, Texas Mike, theflatearthchannel.com, and Tina Baker. Massive shout out to all of you. Now we are joined on G Plus by 10th Man. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hello. We've also got a few people on Discord as well. So you've got FE Batman and Fenris Wolf. Just take you both off mute. Just give me a couple of seconds, guys. No Righteous Force today, unfortunately. There we go. Hello.
Good morning.
Or maybe not.
How are y'all doing?
Hi, Fenris. Good to have you. Actually got your name right today.
Yeah, the other times it's Ferris. That's okay. That's okay.
Fairest of them all. Just think about it that way.
Exactly.
So you were saying, 10th Man, you were on the premiering stream on the Quantum Eraser channel because you'd had a long day.
Yeah, it was a long day, so I decided to take a break and just enjoy the show. And chat was going back and forth. I've got to actually go back and listen to the show because I was in a public place, and all I could do was stay in the chat and just hear what was going on there. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, I was moaning at 10th Man. Not 10th Man, you're 10th Man. It's Right the Hand.
Yeah, he was moaning too.
But he completely misquoted me, which I called him out on and told him to go and get a timestamp for it. And he came back with a completely different quote. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm moaning. You know, you're a disingenuous liar. You've put quote marks around words I haven't said, put my name after them, and you wonder why I'm pissed at you. It's like, you're just a disingenuous liar. I mean, up until that moment, I'm like, why does everyone give Right the Hand a hard time? He's all right, right? No.
Well, I was just trying to figure out where he was taking the conversation and what was his claim and what was his support. He's like an attack dog all of a sudden.
Right.
Oh, well. It's good to have coffee in the morning. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm only half paying attention. I'm watching my PC temps since adding this projector. Everything's got hotter.
Yeah, no.
And I designed the PC to be passive, like not have any fans running. So I put like what would you call them, backup fans in case it ever overheated. Well, essentially, it's now always overheating. So I've constantly got the fans running. So I need to do something about that. So I've ordered a new massive fan. Hopefully keep it cool. I'm just watching the temperatures going, come on, stabilise, come on. I've messed around with you all evening yesterday.
Well, I'll get a conversation going here. But a friend of mine texts me these odd titles. One came about people shed 40 pounds of skin in a lifetime. No, I don't even respond. It's just little antidotes or whatever they are. Next one he sent was NASA aims to put first woman on the moon by 2024 with 3 exclamation points. Well, that was worthy of response, so I sent him a back text and said, more fake news. Then he sent something, you blink your eyes about 20,000 times a day. So I didn't respond to that either. And then he sends, so I send him a video showing all kinds of crazy things happening in the world. And then he responds, wow, crazy world. And then he sends, launched February 2018, SpaceX's Starman completes lap around the sun on Elon Musk's Tesla. So I respond, of course, don't believe these lies. And then he responds, what should I believe? And I said, the truth. And he says, do you think it's fake news? And I sent a picture of the Tesla with the Starman looking at the CGI world that they have. And I go, do you think this photograph is real? He said, I don't know what to think anymore. And I said, they tell us the temperatures where that Tesla car is with Starman can be as high as 3,000 degrees, if not higher. How is the paint, the tires, the dashboard not melting instantly? And then I said a follow-up text before you could even answer that one. You can't have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container. And then he sends, I agree with the 3,000 degree text. And then we called each other and had a good 1 hour talk. It was a mini Nathan Oakley debate channel talk, went through most of the 7 housekeeping questions, and he's back on track, happily to say.
What does back on track mean?
He's back on track, knowing that the news is fake and all these pictures are fake.
I see.
Because he studied Coriolis in college, and I went through Earth-based Coriolis versus real Coriolis, like the merry-go-round example you give. And he says, no, I know Coriolis. And I said, good, then you'll understand there is Coriolis effect when you have more than one reference frame. And he says, that's right. And I said, okay, so let's talk about the one that they claim happens because of the Earth spinning. And he loved it because you're right. He kept saying, you're right, you're right, you're right. So he's back on track. He's still moving towards flat Earth, but he's not going to be fooled by these CGI pictures anymore.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very good stuff. The arguments are solid. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. If you just stick to the arguments and ask them in the question format.
Is he still your friend?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, this is what happens when you talk to a normie. Normie listens, and Normie asks, well, what about this? And you say this, and he says, what about that? And you say that, and it goes nice flow, no arguments, no yelling, no ad homs. It was wonderful.
Cool.
Yeah, until someone themselves starts doing the research on their own time, they're just a normie who's considering it. Once they start researching it and they put the man hours behind what we all did just to make sure what we thought was what we thought, that's when the conversion takes over.
Yeah, like I say, most people are normies. Globeheads are very small in number.
They are indeed.
Or their other name, fundamentalist religious globe zealots.
Which wouldn't be a problem if they could offer proof for their fundamental religious zealotry, but they don't. I mean, they disguise it as passionate, but it's worse. It's brainwashing to a different degree. So you're getting used to your new setup there with the big screen and 4K and all?
The way it works is brilliant. It's like I say, the only issue I've got is crazy temperatures. I could bore you with the details. I did a bit of research on it yesterday, and it seems that one of the Windows updates has just wiped out the software that controls the graphics card. And not being a gamer, once I'd set it up, I've had no necessity to go back and check it. I set up a fan profile for the GPU, and it works. You leave it alone, and that's it. But like I say, you make a change, and then you go, oh, what's going on? The temperature's going up. And then you go and look for your fan controller to see what it's doing, and it doesn't exist. And you're like, oh, that's not very good. So like I say, it's been a bit of a faff, but that's all right. Can't close the door without opening a window, as they say.
So the added technology of the better system created more heat, but the fan was set to the older system, is what I'm understanding.
Maybe. I don't know what the fan's doing. Like I say, the software that controls it's just disappeared. It doesn't load anymore. And when I did a bit of research, it seems like one of the Windows updates has just disabled it. So it's okay, because the whole thing was originally designed to run passively anyway, like without any fans. So on that basis, it's limping along. Just about. I don't know what'll happen when I go live. Everything's stabilised out now, but hopefully it won't go even hotter. If the show suddenly and abruptly ends, you'll know why.
Yeah. Well, I listened to your rebroadcast of yesterday's, show on Uncut After Show with Apollo and Wordy. That was going somewhere really nice at the end, and where we had, I think, Apollo, you said, let's put a blue marble inside of your vacuum box, and let's call that Earth. And that whole example, I think, opened up what he eventually confessed to, which is, okay, I just want to believe in the globe. And that's when we said, oh, an honest baller. You remember that?
Yeah, other than that, I led him slightly differently. So he's describing a gas chamber, and I'm saying if you take a marble and put it inside, now a millimetre above the marble, how can you've got gas around it? Is that possible to demonstrate? And obviously the answer is no, given that a vacuum, the whole purpose of it is to take the gas out, and what gas does by its nature is fill the available space. So it's not going to suddenly gravitate towards the marble inside the vacuum chamber. And then I just got him to scale it up, and I'm like, well, what if we call that marble inside the vacuum chamber the blue marble, and we make the vacuum itself far less populated, or a much higher Tor value, and then would the marble be able to hold gas on the outside of it? And the answer is, of course, no. It's the same principle, just scaled up. So when you then call that marble the blue marble, it makes the picture of Earth in a vacuum with gas, the clouds, like just hovering, next to the black bit in their depictions. It's farcical, but taking him through the steps to cognitively process how it simply does not work. It's all well and good just saying, well, it violates the second law of thermodynamics, but unless you take someone through the steps of what their cognition has to be, or where the violation of the law of non-contradiction has to sit in order to hold that a belief, is it's painstaking with a fundy. And as much as I don't want to say it because he's a nice guy, Apollo is.
Yeah, he is. And when given two thoughts at the same time, and they both can't be true at the same time, you hit the law of non-contradiction starts happening, and the cognitive dissonance starts happening. But he actually did say, okay, I just don't want to give up on the globe.
Yeah.
Which was at least more honest than the rest of them.
Why? What? If I was to paraphrase that and say, well, he doesn't want to give up on the reification of a model. It's like, well, why?
Well, it's simple.
What's in it for you?
He wants to believe that if he puts a tooth under his pillow, there'll be a quarter the next morning, even though he knows it was
there's a quarter in it. That's not comparable. There's a quarter in it for him, right? What's in it for me? Believing I'm on a model that they tell us about and describe mathematically. What's in it for me? Believing.
Well, I would. No, that's a good question. I'm glad we're on this topic. I think, first of all, I'm still laughing about your quarter, but There's a quarter in it. Hey, if that's all it takes to buy him out, I'll give these fundies a few quarters. Anyway, getting serious. That the quarter is the belief to them because the alternative is too scary.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree. It's a terrifying prospect. I keep plugging this, it's getting more and more frequent. So the Haunted House interview with Conspiracy Cats, where he details just how terrifying it would be to have to even contemplate the idea of you being deceived on a huge scale. Something that we all, well, I speak for some, the Flat Earthers got past quite some time ago. Yeah, we have been lied to on a massive scale.
Yeah, that's scary to them. It opens up too many doors. Like pride would be one of the issues. Like, I can't believe I got fooled for 50 years or
That's the biggest problem.
30 years.
That's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
The biggest hurdle is to accept that you've been tricked. Because you go, well, no, I've studied it, I understand it, I've got a good base to explain it. So to then concede that you've actually been conceding nonsense someone else tricked you into believing is quite a difficult or arduous cognitive task for people to perform in the instances of people who aren't normies, i.e. the fundamentalists. They're the people who decided to take the blue pill. But the blue pill, in this analogy, is a far more painful pill. Like, much more painful. The relief of the red pill, yeah, we've been lied to on a massive scale. Does my voice crack when I say that? Do you hear fear? Do you hear any impending danger that I perceive when I say that? No, none. I'm quite comfortable with that. Yeah, we've been lied to on a massive scale just means you just turn your back on the liars. That's all it means. Why do they keep up the charade? Well, because they know what the result of you discovering that is. It's the same as me discovering it. You turn your back on the liars. Well, the liars are the ones that want to keep you well and truly under their systems of control. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that we're still stuck in a Western system that we have to, we've got laws and various other things we have to abide by. But ultimately speaking, there are certain aspects of their structures that you can just exclude yourself from without any issue whatsoever. And it's, the recognition of those control structures. TV is one of them. You go to most people, you say, oh, well, stop watching telly then. Oh, you can't stand the news. Well, why do you have to watch it? Not that you need to get into the legitimacy of the stories or the spin or the agendas of the people who make them. You just say, well, you don't have to consider any of it. You don't have to worry about whether it's real or fake, whether they're lying or what their agenda is if you're not engaged in it. But they absolutely want you to be engaged in it.
Yes. It's like a barter. If I want to trade something of mine, I want something of yours, right? Whereas when I saw Flat Earth, it wasn't like I was trying to hold on to round Earth. There was nothing. I said the same thing. I go, man, I knew it. This is like the handcuffs are off on my mind here. I've always known that was I didn't buy into it. And the whole world was going this direction. And the teachers were telling me all this. And when I would raise my hands and ask the questions at that young age, how could this, how could that? They'd say, look, I don't even believe it, but I got to teach it. I said, well, how can a teacher teach something they don't believe? But if I don't answer the right way, I don't pass and get the grade. So all of that was there. And when I saw it, I said, aha. But so that aha for me was, I don't have to give up something to accept this knowledge. These people are hanging on to something they don't want to give up.
Yeah, I mean, that might be true, but at least here you now have to pay for further education. And you said, well, it's like a barter. Well, if we are to accept the anti-propaganda, I don't know how that might be the wrong term, but the people who are in this arena who say, and I'll give you an example of this in a minute, truth shouldn't be monetized, you shouldn't be exploiting flat earth, or if it's a conspiracy or otherwise, that's subject to make money. Now, Tim Osman did a stream about this only today, so check it out, Tim Osman channel, if you want to get some idea of how he spins the idea that the e-beggars of anti-flat earth and flat earth are just charlatan scammers. That's his spin. Now, I'm not going to even comment on whether or not I agree with him. In some instances, I might, but that's not the point. The point is, if you've got an education system that says, I will put you in debt so that you are always very much aware of how much your education has cost you, then you're going to cling on to that education much more dearly than if you'd had it for free. Because you've had to barter, as you put it, to acquire the information. So once you've acquired it and paid for it, are you going to be more or less likely to relinquish that information if it has a much higher perceived value? The contrary being free information. So information that we are told we should not monetize, or we are in some way bad for monetizing. Not that I'm behind a paywall. My information is absolutely free to whoever wants it. But by the same token, that isn't necessarily a good thing, because it's far more easily discarded if there's no necessary perceived value to the information in the first instance. Obviously, there's going to be people in our arena that are just grateful of the information and willingly donate money. Super chats are a perfect example. But it's not the same as insisting that you pay and structuring a system around the education that you receive and weaving into that education the indoctrination and lies of things like the heliocentric model. Well, in the same way as you're going to hold on to your accounting degree and the information you learned, the same principle would apply to any rhetoric or programming that goes along with it. You're going to hold on tightly to your education because it's cost you, or there's been a high perceived value that you might still be paying back. So, like I say, I think it's an interesting contrast when you've got us being told the truth should not be monetized. Really? Why? Is it true when they teach you how to do plumbing? Should that not be monetized? Should we all get free plumbing lessons? No. Why should we?
Well,
just one last point. I was just going to say, the spin being, the main spin being, from YouTube to the subject arena. So, first and foremost, I say this all the time, I consider myself a YouTuber, and this is my chosen career path. Very much my choice. I want to do this, and I love doing it. So I'm very proud of what I do, and I take a lot of pride in what I do going forward. But the arena of YouTube is a perfectly reasonable arena for people to pursue a career in. Many people do. Literally hundreds, if not millions of, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people pursue their interest in YouTube to pursue a career in it. Most unsuccessfully, I might add, nevertheless. That gets tarred with the brush of, but you're talking about a subject that is, and at that point, I completely switch off. It's like, it doesn't matter what subject I talk about. The work is the amount of effort that you put into producing content for a platform that is designed to ultimately entertain. It's an entertainment platform. Yes, it's also ram-packed with knowledge and information that you can also acquire from the same platform, and I feel we fit in that category. But it doesn't make any difference to the amount of effort that goes into producing content. Doesn't matter which side of the argument. That's why I shout out the opposition sometimes. Like, well, no, as a YouTuber, I wish them every success. It's really hard to succeed on YouTube. But are we critical of the people who are taking their, what did you call it, their quarter from under the pillow when they're teaching children nonsense? Well, no, you didn't even mention it. What's in it for them? How are they dealing with? Well, they're just getting paid to do it. They're literally paid to shill the nonsense, right? But we're told simultaneously we shouldn't be when we're telling the truth, exposing the lies and the charlatans with the control system. Interesting, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, it's a false dichotomy if that guy, Tim Osman, said what he said, because number one, I could easily just listen to what you just said and say that someone who doesn't contribute to you in any way, shape, or form gets the same information as those that do contribute to you to keep your station going, because obviously it takes time, it takes equipment that costs money, and they're trying to help you with your endeavor. So you're not holding back any of this free information if someone doesn't contribute in a super chat. Everyone gets it for free still. It's just some people say, rather than watching TV, I really enjoyed the Nathan Oakley channel, and I know that if he's going to do this full time, he's going to need some help, and I don't want the channel to go away, so I'll help. It's a choice. It's an option. There's YouTube channel, or he's no longer on YouTube. He's got his own thing going called Crow 777, and he's got the first hour free, and the second hour is on a monthly, pay thing. Well, you're not doing that.
No, but I don't object to anybody, just Crow included. I mean, during that conversation with Tim Osman, there was JLB in the chat. He's a guy I've got a lot of time for, but he's moved all of his stuff behind a paywall, and more power to him. Like, you go out, you do your work, you research your stuff, present it in a format that's nice, and then get nothing for it. That doesn't make any sense,
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with it to begin with, but he's got to cast a shadow on it by phrasing it the way he does. So yes, there's nothing wrong with charging with what I mean, I got greenhouses with vegetables. Am I going to give them away, or am I going to try to sell them?
Of course, you're going to sell them.
Well, why? People are hungry. Shouldn't I think of the better good?
Yeah, but what are you going to do when you need a washing machine as opposed to carrots?
Exactly. How about just the next greenhouse, or when I have to replace the 6mm film?
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Well, that's perfectly reasonable, and in terms of the way that the bullshit is monetized and the systems in place, the teachers in place to disseminate that bullshit. Well, no one's criticising that. That seems perfectly legit, right? Reasonable that they carry on indoctrinating our kids with nonsense and are paid to do so. Yet we get called shills and told that we're not allowed or shouldn't be monetizing. I just want to draw a bit of clarity in case I get any crap in the comments afterwards. So specifically, Tim Osman was covering people who e-beg. So shout out to anybody who e-begs. I'm surprised. I watched the entire thing thinking, where am I going to get a mention? I'm a total whore. I'm really overt about it, and it didn't get a single mention. I'm waiting for him to talk about me and my e-begging habits and what I've done wrong in his view, and not a whistle, not a word. I was like, really? Okay, fair enough.
E-beg, huh? Is that the new term?
E-begging, yeah, electronic begging, as in smash the super chat to support this channel. That is quite literally e-begging.
Man, that would sure clean up the downtown streets if everyone would just e-beg.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, these professors have tenure. They got great retirements. Really, give me a break.
But no shame in it. I mean, that's the way that YouTube has made the platform conform to this conversation in a nice way for the people watching who can watch at zero cost. They're still contributing. That was something I was going to pick you up on. I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but you were like, well, they're not contributing. Well, they are. They're an audience member. That is absolutely contributing, even if they're not watching ads. They're generating the metrics, they're generating the views, they're generating the watch time, and sometimes more often than not, they're generating quite a few comments, interaction stats. Well, great. That is definitely contributing in some way or form. In other words, you'd have to not be interacting with me in any way to not contribute. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If YouTube started out their business plan with a different view, which would be, say, no monetization, no e-begging, but you're welcome to use our platform to push whatever you want to push as long as you follow certain guidelines. Number one, it wouldn't be as populated, it wouldn't be as interesting. People would not put their passion into too many things. The only people on it would be people who got funded by grants or some way where they could spend the time to put out content because it's not taking away from their life.
Yeah, in other words, people who've got disposable time. So for me, this is always split into two categories. And many years ago when I was a rep for an electronics company, I was time poor, cash rich. 120 hour weeks, constantly out on airplanes, driving out here, there and everywhere. Very little time actually spent at home, but plenty of money coming in. Great, wonderful. Bought some nice shiny amplifiers from the company I work for, a few other bits and pieces. The old projector I think I bought back when I was working there, or the one before, probably the one before. Anyway, the point is that divide for me was crap. It wasn't the most pleasant of divides. Whereas, although I never actually told anybody when I went full time on YouTube, so I didn't want to catch any of the flack or have anyone criticise me for wanting to attempt it and fail if I did. I just carried on as I was and didn't mention the fact that I'd left my job and I was now dedicated with a plan and a time scale to achieve success on YouTube. I just carried on doing it. So people didn't actually realise that was my intention, and maybe that's why I don't catch so much crap. Suddenly people maybe assume that they're owed something when they decide to make that move. Of the amount of YouTube videos I've watched where people explain that situation to people, it's like, I couldn't care less. Tell me about your Audi R8, because that's really what I've tuned in for. I don't care that you've now set up a YouTube channel. And I assume it's the same for me. People don't really care about my situation. And I'm only talking about this, like I say, off the back of Tim Osmond's live stream today. But I hadn't watched a lot of the opposing side's e-begging, but it's a bit more shameless than me saying smash the super chat if you want to support the channel, which is all it really is. As opposed to, I've got into a car accident, or a relative has died, or whatever. It just, I've got to pay a lease that I've signed and can't afford to cover, and you're like, I don't care. I'm not tuning in to worry about your concern, because that concern is the same as basically everybody. You agree? Everybody's got those woes. I've got those woes. Do I talk about them? No, it's really crass. People have tuned in to hear me debate the shape of the earth, the nature of earth. Not to hear me moan about how my financial situation isn't as pleasant as I'd like it to be, which is everybody, right?
Of course. Well, they're taking something that is on its own very normal and natural, and they're using analogies and examples of charlatans who have abused it, and saying now that you or others are following in the charlatan's footsteps rather than the natural, normal, non-abusive way, which is throwing everything, the baby and the bathwater out. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, just because someone smokes 10 cigars a day, should I be held back from smoking one every 3 days? Because they're going to make cigars bad all of a sudden?
Right, let's get the show on the road.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join this discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. Stumbling over it so I don't say shape. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but yeah, I'm just going to give up on this and move over to the panel. Hello everyone on Google+. I've completely cocked up my intro and I'm just going to give up on it. Why not?
Good morning, good afternoon to all.
So is it just you in G+?
Yeah, that's it.
We were having a really pleasant conversation. I looked down at the time and I was like, oh god, it's 2 o'clock, better get going. Hence me cocking up the intro. And I wanted to get back onto the conversation about monetization and the Tim Osmond stream that he did moaning about people's e-begging, which was essentially the conversation in the pre-show that will go out on Nathan Oakley 1980, if you do want to catch up with the conversation up until now. So we're also joined by a few people in Discord. I shouldn't be so rude as to just exclude them from the conversation. So we've also got, I think, Effie Batman, who I'm going to take off mute. Hey Arwin, how you doing? I'll just take a couple of you guys off mute. Hello everyone in Discord.
Hello.
Good morning, Arvin.
So, good timing, Armin. You got covered today by Tim Osmond, drawing parallels between yourself and your e-begging habits and Fight the Flat Earth and there was one particular sentence where you said that somebody was attacking your business. I don't know what they were doing to your channel or what the context was, but that was drawn by, let's get the name of the YouTuber correct. I think it's Trolls versus Trolls. I could be wrong. But he compared you to Fight the Flat Earth in terms of the style of e-begging and even the language you were using, which was basically identical in some instances to his language.
Where?
Have you seen that?
No, I don't watch his crap. I don't like dredging in diarrhea crap. So
I've got a soft spot for Tim Osman. I'm subscribed to Tim Osman. Okay, why not?
all right. Well, I just have too good of a sense of smell to do that.
Fair enough. So, what was the fill me in on that? Fill the blanks in, because I say it got played out from a videographer that wasn't him or wasn't Tim Osman. So I didn't actually get the full context of what you were saying when you were like, they're attacking my business, presumably meaning your YouTube channel, right?
Right. I think I said that in response. Who was it? To somebody threatening to strike my channel and everything, or what was it? Could have been that time I got the strike for talking about Christchurch and everything. I don't remember. I think I said that once.
Christchurch? What happened? My parents live in Christchurch. What do you mean?
No, long time ago. It's been months. When that thing happened all over the news and everything.
I don't watch the news. I don't even care. If
Okay.
we got you a strike, I don't want to talk about it.
Probably no, it's the only time a video of mine got taken down ever. So
Are you referencing the New Zealand attack?
Not Christchurch, England, then.
yeah, why do you think I'm not saying it? Dumbass.
Fair enough. No, I'd rather not. I don't want to get community guideline strikes for something I don't even
that
care
time,
about or
that
know about or
hangout
have
when
watched
I
or have
talked
discussed
about
in any way. And if it got you a community guideline strike, well, I'm sorry to hear it. Should we do a bit of housekeeping now that we've actually, it seems, exhausted that conversation?
Sure.
Any signs of Earth curvature? Hi, everyone in Discord.
No.
Hopefully you're listening.
No, that's one of the things they have problems showing, which if they did would make their case very simple.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
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 Any evidence of the distance to the Sun?
No.
We'll have none of that.
We'll have none of that nonsense. Any
That's
evidence
right.
of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That's a laugh.
Sounds like a nice rumor.
Anybody? Anybody at all? Molten iron core? Going once? Going twice? Any evidence of the presupposition itself, the R value?
Arwin.
R? No, don't involve R with me. I am not the proof of R.
Hey,
Okay.
that was just a roundabout way of saying no.
Any evidence of gas pressure existing without the necessary antecedent of a container?
This is easy. No.
They can't get over it. A troll in chat today tried to gaslight me with Boyle's law being misinterpreted. He actually tried to suggest that we can't falsify that we are in a container because we can't very manipulate it. So I suggested to him, well, you haven't proven to me scientifically that you're alive. So why
hold
don't
on.
you scientifically prove that to me?
Wrong answer.
You know how to do that.
Laws don't go through the scientific method. So Boyle's law being pressure volume law. What's that you say? Volume? That bit's not needed in Boyle's law, is it, Dumbos? No, you definitely need the volume. Where'd you get the volume from? Oh, well, from the container. Shock. Horror. Hey, Paul? Got one last question.
But now the Globers are going to start saying density, though. They're going to change volume to density. That's where it's going to go now.
All right. Well, they just need to demonstrate that to be observably the case. Easily demonstratable, Boyle's law. Very easily demonstrated. Just squeeze a bottle. Anyway, they can try. I'd need them to show me that, though. Beyond a fundamentalist assertion about what the sky is, of course.
Yeah, but every time they go to demonstrate this, they have to use a container to demonstrate.
We know.
Yeah, they use a container with the top off or the container without the top off. And wait a minute, you're using our argument.
Hang on a minute. Just a second. If you take the top off, is it still a container? I would assert that that's an open, completely open, non-container once you take the lid off, right?
Yeah. It's an open top container like an aquarium, like a fish tank.
No, that's not having a container. Like a pipe. That's not a container.
Okay. I see what you're saying. That's right. In the meantime, in the background, the butane gas is in the container.
I love it.
Yep.
Right, last but by no means
without a
least.
container remains a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
Nope.
No evidence whatsoever.
They just given a name for something that describes equilibrium versus disequilibrium, and they call it gravity and apply a force.
Yep.
It's technically a conceptual thing that they're still trying to find the evidence for, assuming that it must be there because they've based all their idiotic calculations on it.
Well, if they had initially analyzed it and described it properly, they wouldn't be changing it to the bending of space-time now, would they?
That concludes the housekeeping. Thank you very much.
So, on that statement, when they say pseudo-Riemannian 4D space-time, and they introduce time to time, width, and length. Length, width, and height. They take it to a totally different dimension where the average guy says, whoa, this is over my head. How does this work? Well, if you just think about it, it can't work because time is a convention. It can't do anything. It's a simple takedown when you think about it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's getting more and more concise of recent days. Can't bend conceptual mediums, and the assertion that you can bend a conceptual medium, and when you bend that conceptual medium, something not real, only existing in the mind of Einstein, well, when you bend it, it gives rise to a non-force, a not actual force called gravity. So bending a concept, giving you a not force, that's what gravity is. Now, when you say it like that, it obviously sounds farcical. It is farcical, but so many people believe in it.
But isn't technically the bending of space-time, it's not even within the medium. It is the medium. I don't even get how there's even supposed to be conceptual proof for it. I don't understand the concept. It doesn't make any sense. Where is that presupposed gravity within that medium actually coming from? Is that even explained at all?
Well, that's why our gas pressure without container takes away the medium. It doesn't exist. There is no space.
That's
so you can't
total
even
red
have the
herring.
argument.
Thanks.
No,
I see.
That's not an answer to my question.
Owen's asking how the fairy tale works, right? And I'm saying, or about to say, it doesn't matter. You know, the time dilation issues that take place in Narnia, you not understanding them doesn't change that is what's going to be happening in Narnia, Arwen. It's just a concept. And I say that's how the concept works. And here's the maths for how time dilation in Narnia does work. Because it does work and is real, isn't it, Arwen? Oh, it's just Narnia. So who cares? It's just space-time. Who cares? It's just a concept. Don't worry about how it works. They'll just make up any old nonsense and change the maths accordingly.
You know, they believe in conceptual mediums, but it would still need to at least conceptually make some kind of sense. And I don't feel that the explanation does at all.
Why? Why does it have to make sense?
It has to be anchored, rooted into something.
Yeah, concept. Space
No,
time.
yeah, but what is that concept?
It's just something
they
just something
say
Einstein
the
dreamed
bending
up.
of
Just an
space-time.
idea. It's just a
That's
concept.
the bending of the concept. It's not actually doing anything within the concept.
Right.
No,
That's where it ends, right? You don't need to
it's just
conceptualize how it would work because it isn't real, and you don't need to. The fact that you are means there's just a little bit of poison left in your veins. That's all it is, Arwin.
I don't
Which
know.
is my-
I like
which-
conceptual things.
No,
no.
Just with the way that they're saying this is our explanation. You're a very conceptual based person, so regardless of it not actually really existing, you still want to know how it could work if it was real, because they're trying to explain things that are real with concepts. So you want to know how that concept works. I totally understand it, and I get your frustration along with Anthony's frustration when I tell him, well, don't beg the question for them. He's like, well, I want to understand how to unpick their bullshit from within the fairy tale. And it's like, okay, I don't need to, though, do I? And you don't need to either. But I know you want to. I don't know why you want to, but that's your bag. I don't care.
Need, want, it's all relative. I'm driven to
conceptualize. To conceptualize, right?
Right. I just want to understand what their concept actually is. Otherwise, it's not. It's just calling it a concept almost seems like
Why would
it's
you-
giving it honor it doesn't actually have. I don't see it as a concept because it doesn't make any damn sense at all, even as a concept.
Well, it's just
So
an
then why would you
unrealistic,
entertain the lie?
just an unrealistic concept.
No, how is it a concept? It's just saying something. How
Yeah,
is
but that's-
saying something making a concept? It doesn't make any sense, even conceptually so.
No, neither does walking through a wardrobe and then having a time dilation issue. Does it? That doesn't make any sense. But if I brought up some mathematics and tried to explain it at nausea, would that suddenly make it feel better that Narnia's not real? I keep calling it Narnia. I mean space-time.
Doesn't matter to me how you describe. Yeah, well, it does matter to me how you would describe that wardrobe, even if I knew it was conceptual. Because at least I want some kind of seemingly logical framework for the concept
Okay,
to be
fine.
in my mind, so it's not just a blurry nonsense.
Well, I looked into it, and the origin story of the wardrobe is the slime from Ghostbusters 2 got sprayed on it, and it was left in some warm space, and it fermented.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie.
No, I looked into the origin
Even
story.
conceptually so. Yeah.
That's
No,
the origin
I'm pretty
story
sure
of the
you did
wardrobe. You'll
not
have to
find
like
that
it.
when you were looking that up. You're literally pulling this out of your ass.
Yeah, it's true, because
Yeah.
I made it up myself.
Right, but when you make things up and you do so in a consistent way and it remains that way, that's not the same thing.
So what you're saying
It
is
becomes a
because
conceptual medium, and
They-
that has a certain persistence and a certain consistency. That's not the same thing as just making shit up that has no relevance to anything.
exactly the
Arwen,
same.
are you
Or
are you
lie.
kidding me?
Hold on. The consistency of the shit doesn't change the ingredients of the shit, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right. Well, they're both just so stories, right? They're just making it up. You say I'm pulling it out of my ass because it doesn't make sense. Does that mean that Einstein didn't pull space-time out his ass? He did. I assure you.
Well, maybe if
Maybe.
you just no, but listen, hear me out. Maybe we can keep on saying, okay, it's just a conceptual medium. They'll accept that as an argument, sort of, or not accept it and red herring it. But at the same time, they will keep on trying to find this freaking proof for gravity. Or if you just show them that the entire Einsteinian concept is not even a concept, just doesn't make any logical structural sense whatsoever, then that might actually halt them in their tracks and realize that they've been literally shot in the back a long time ago and they never realized it.
Yeah.
Do you know why it doesn't make any sense, Arwen? You just don't understand it. And you don't have education well enough to understand it. That's why you don't understand. That's what makes
Yeah,
no
now
sense.
you're literally advocating for their dream.
No,
Thanks.
he's being sarcastic. And just to make the point clearer, I agree, Arwen, you just don't understand.
Well, does anybody understand? I'd
No,
like to
that's
see
your point.
the
That's your
actual
point.
structural explanation
That's your
for
point.
how gravity derives in that conceptual medium. What it is that is actually going on.
It went over
Without
his
some
head, Paul.
fake drawing and a story that doesn't make any logical sense.
I went completely over your head. He's agreeing with you. So am I. Yes, that's your point, and we agree.
All right. Maybe I'll have to go over to Jose's and just pull it out of them.
Maybe.
See how far they can get.
And do you know what the
There
response
was-
will be? Because Paul's just given it to you. The response will be what Paul just said. Do you want to repeat what you said, Paul?
You just don't understand, Erwin. You don't have enough education. You need to go back and learn more, and you need to figure out more equations. You need to figure out this stuff. That's the problem.
Math. Oh, well, if they just shove more math down my throat, I'm just going to spit it right back up in their face. But if they can actually try to give a better groundwork for their explanation of this Einsteinian gravity, I just love to see them genuinely try it. It would be a good confrontation for themselves as to what that concept that they believe in so actually is.
Arwen, with all due respect, you just proved exactly what Nathan and QE have been trying to get out over the last few months, if not longer, which is when you beg the when they beg the question and you go and argue within that question, they win already.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't, because I learned something new that I have from there on, and they have not evolved at all.
Arwen,
So,
wow.
no, it's
Wow.
wrong.
Calm down. I just want to draw a new comparison. So you disregarded my example about the Ghostbusters 2 ooze, right? Now, if I make that explanation much more polished, not the ooze, in other words, I make it much more realistic, like the wood was from 2,000 years ago, blessed by God. I don't know. I just make up something that's much more acceptable or digestible as part of the Just So story. Would that mean that because the Just So story is better formulated, in the comparison, Einstein had come up with a story that you could relate to better? Would that make it any less of a conceptual medium that doesn't cause anything?
No, but it might make some more conceptual sense that it could at least be called a concept.
Actually, if you've ever, this is why you guys actually need to listen and read or whatever, the Chronicles of Narnia. There actually is an explanation in the stories how the wardrobe can take them to Narnia.
Oh, go on. Can you repeat it? Can you remember it? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you now. So let's talk about how
I don't want to hear about the wardrobe. Don't rumpus him. This is important wardrobe-related stuff.
There was somehow like
yay,
there was
story time! Yay!
What's
up, guys?
Oh, come on! We're talking over me. I think it's in the Magician's Nephew, which is actually very interesting in and of itself. If you listen to that book, there was actually this dust that came from this like a limbo place that can actually transfer people to different worlds, and because the children go from our world to another world completely, not even Narnia, and then end up in what is the beginning of Narnia, like when it was created. And some of this dust or some of this stuff came back, and they buried it in a flower bed, and a tree grew up from that. And then, wait a minute, take that back, rewind. I'm actually misunderstanding this. It was an apple, I guess, that they brought back from Narnia, and they planted it, and it became the tree. That's it. And then that tree was cut down and became the wardrobe. That's actually the story.
Whoa.
So there is logical. That's actually logical within Narnia. Works perfectly.
Yeah, at this
Right,
point,
so it
I
would be
just
like
want to
an extra
concede.
dimensional
Hold on,
portal
Arwen.
which
Just got to make a quick
interacts.
concession. I was wrong about the ooze, but that is a much more digestible and acceptable story that obviously now makes the possibilities of us being in Narnia and somewhere there being a wardrobe, right? That makes that much more digestible, wouldn't you agree? Therefore, we're in Narnia.
No, I failed to see that train of thought. How you
Well, you're saying.
concluded that.
Well, let me explain. If you're saying
No.
having
No.
a better
No.
idea of how
No.
Einstein's conceptual
No.
medium works would
No.
make it even understandable as a concept.
I'm sick of this red herring, okay? Stop bullshitting me with this. I had a genuine question, and you're literally spending all your time now red herring it because of
whatever.
reasons.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your question? Why is Einsteinian space-time not even understandable as a real concept? That's your question, right?
No, that's not the question. I want to know is what is actually the concept? Where is it grounded? How does it actually work? And not by some vague description or mathematical equation, because it's supposed to be a real physical thing interaction, right? So how does it actually work?
It doesn't.
Where?
Well, that's the problem, Marwin. You're looking for the impossible then, because it doesn't actually work. It's not producing any actual forces. It's producing not actual forces when you bend a conceptual medium.
Right, but I'm now suspending the conceptual part about it and just looking into the concept. Because I got that argument and you love to throw it around and it works. And it, yeah, you will probably be doing that for the next years to come. I'd like to just see how the concept is supposedly actually working.
Okay.
That's all. Because I don't get it.
Well, just read
Bending of
some...
space-time, conceptual medium. How? Where? How does that work?
Read a bit of Hawkins, Stephen Hawkins. Read a, what is it, Brief History of Time.
No, that's just Big Bang Theory nonsense. Does it really explain how the bending of space-time works? Does he do that?
Hold on. Actually works.
Stop being so semantic with me,
It's not
please.
semantic. You're asking for how this concept is reified, and it isn't reified. It's not real. But that's what you want in order for you to accept that it's a concept.
I was asking about Stephen Hawking's book about it. Did he ever address how it is supposed to be working? That
Well, it
bending of
does.
space-time?
That's-
Has he ever talked about it?
Yeah, that's all it does. It's explaining how all of those concepts work and interact. Yes. But do they actually do that? Or is it, like we discuss on an almost daily basis, observation and declaration in terms of the twinkly lights in the sky, and just so stories made from incredulity, or to put it your vernacular, pulled out of people's asses?
Never mind. There's no conversation here.
I'm just
There's
pointing out
just
that
no conversation here.
these things are pulled
That's
out of
No,
people's
you're
because
just
asses.
saying no. You're saying no, we don't want to know. We got everything we
No.
need to beat the Globers into a pulp, and we don't want to know.
Yeah,
No,
kinda.
because you're
I'll go find actual information or fictional information, whatever information somewhere else. Because I'm not getting anything here these days.
Arvin, when you're attributing validity to a lie and want to talk about
I
it,
am not. I just want to know.
it's a lie.
I don't care.
Fine, live in your Narnia world.
Get it?
I
get
don't
it, but
live there.
it's gonna
I
be a bit
just want to know. Don't be a
Sure.
dick.
Okay.
It's a lie.
Okay.
I don't care. Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me like
Calm
that.
down. No swearing, please.
What's going on here?
All right,
Stop
fair
telling
enough.
me what I know.
I
I
didn't
want to
say
know
that.
what I don't know.
I didn't say
Stop
Anyway.
that.
telling me what I know.
I didn't say that.
We all calm down. Take a breath. We're arguing about their reification of space-time here, you appreciate. This isn't really... The heated bit isn't required. We're on the safe side here, right? None of us believe in space-time.
Just stop telling me what I know and tell me what I don't know.
I didn't say any of those things you're accusing me of. I never said what you know, don't know.
I know it's a lie.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
so
we
stop
agree on.
telling me what I know and tell me what I don't know. 'Cause that's what I
Okay.
wanna know.
So we agree that it's a lie.
I think we've got to check in
That's
that box, yes.
Okay, good. So if it's a lie and we both agree on it, and what is the definition of the word lie? Why am I looking for an
I'm outta here.
honest answer? Why am I looking for an honest answer when I know the definition of a lie from
I
the
don't know.
person lying to me?
Arwen's given up on this conversation, which is fair enough.
Okay. I just don't
purpose
want to be
anyway.
accused of something I didn't say.
Fair enough. Got a few more people in Discord now. The row will probably continue. We'll see. He's just trying to say he wants a better understanding of the nonsense. That's all he's trying to say.
I got that. That was very clear. But since it's a lie and they can't give anything more better than the more better they've given us, which doesn't make any sense and violates all known laws, what more can we ask from a liar?
That's it.
To lie some more?
Well, I think he's saying I've come to the place that demolishes things and asks, and I'm starting to ask how those things were built. Like, we demolish them here. You need to go somewhere else. And he has, which is his bag and his prerogative, and I agree with him. It's like, well, yeah. Am I going to go into great detail about how they explain the bending of a concept? Yeah, that's not what we do here. Come on, Arwin. But I don't think he's going to hold that against us.
Well, the word concept was broken down on yesterday's show as not real, imaginary, notion. Okay,
Fake.
so why are we not asking for the absolute truth and verification rather than conceptually tell me about your concept? Not really, tell me not real. It doesn't make any sense to me.
See, I've gotten to the point of asking them, what's the mechanism of this bending of space-time? What's the mechanism? You talk about it, but they said, we don't know. I was like, then it has no causal influence. You can't tell me the mechanism. So that's because of probably what we're trying to figure out.
Well, just the very question we have, can you have gas pressure without a container? They can conceptualize that and feel like it could happen. But we know that you can't have gas pressure without a container. So we're at a draw if we don't ask for verification and language to be discrete and meaningful here.
So yeah, subscribe to Arwin. ARWIJN. He has the early bird show just before each debate. 1
I
p.m.
guess he rage quit. He's no longer here.
Yeah, but he's asking for answers from people who take the rhetoric to pieces based on its validity, invalidity. What's that? What's the word? It's being not valid.
Not invalid. Yeah, you're right. That's a hard one to
Invalidity.
think about it.
I was going to say
Invalidity.
Yeah, but that sounds like a person, like an invalid, right? Invalidity? Maybe. Either way, we're pointing out its invalidity, and he's asking us to make it make sense. Well, he's reached an impasse in that regard, and you can't blame him for saying, well, that's not what I want. Well, okay, do the other thing, and he has. So, without even being asked to, so good for him. Arwin is ace. Subscribe to Arwin. I hold no ill will.
Well, when I watched Interstellar, the movie, after Flat Earth, I was picking it to pieces. When I watch movies like that in the past, not having Flat Earth on my mind, I was entertained and enjoyed the conceptual whatever. Now I can't watch them and not be critical.
Flat Earth ruined sci-fi movies for me too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I remember it well. I just got done putting my entire Blu-ray and DVD collection onto this computer. So I filled up 2 giant hard drives. I think they were 6 or 5 or whatever terabytes a piece. Ended up with about 10 terabytes of movies. I'm like, wicked. So I've got a full media drive with all my favourite movies on it. And then you find out space is fake. The whole thing's nonsense. You can't suspend disbelief anymore. I can't. I tried it with a recent movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So you stuck it on and you instantaneously can't relate to the movie anymore. It's like, no, I can't suspend disbelief this far. There's certain sections of the movie that I tried to. I'm like, well, I'll just imagine that they haven't come from the sky vacuum in their little ship that's CGI. I'll pretend that they've come from over there.
Try it with Gravity.
Gravity? I've not watched Gravity in a long while.
Wow.
Well, Gravity, the movie, at least has better CGI than NASA because you can't see the wires on Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, true.
I wonder why that is. Is it because they're doing
And no
live
bubbles either.
streams?
Oh, there's so many NASA fails. It's funny as heck when you watch these NASA fails. It's like, how can anyone believe it anymore?
There's probably some good elements on NASA. They're trying to bring the lie to the people. You know, maybe that's why they do it.
I mean, I was in the Air Force for 6 years, and compartmentalization works out really well. I mean, I can work on a machine and never know why I'm working on it or equipment. You know, I can send a plane off into the sky and never know what mission it's on. You know, there's all kinds of things that are compartmentalized there, and there was some top secret things happening on the base I was stationed at. That even though I had top secret clearance, I had no need to know that information. You know, so it's like that all that compartmentalization goes on in NASA as well as anybody else. It happens everywhere. I mean, I got working in an office, and I don't know what's going on in the cubicle next to me. So.
Yeah, it's like any hierarchy.
Well, there's one good outcome of space being fake and all your terabytes of hard drive, Nathan. You know what that is?
Go on.
You have more free space on your hard drive.
That's true. I haven't wiped them all off. It took too long. It took several months to get them all on there. I'm not going to be wiping them. Those hard drives are much cheaper now. I'll just buy a bigger hard drive or another hard drive. Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
Hey, Nick.
Hello.
I've got some interesting news. It's news that I wouldn't ordinarily engage in. It's called gossip. I don't like getting involved in the gossip mill, but on this one occasion, I feel the need, I feel the urge to do it because it's just glorious. It's hilarious, right? So Sean Huffroad, the guy that had the guy that vouched for the Geo Streamer or Geo Whisperer, who was being fed by Soundly in the background whilst having a one-to-one with me, Fraudly or Audio Guy, not Fraudly, that's Soundly, Audio Guy or Fraudio Guy. He's got a GoFundMe up, right? I was watching Tim Osmond's show this morning. I woke up this morning, saw that he was on, went in, and basically people were telling me to stick by because this is going to get good. And he's got a $10,000 GoFundMe up. Does anybody have any ideas what he's going to try and demonstrate or prove with his 10 grand?
No.
No? Right. So he's not going to do anything flat earth or ball earth related with it. He wants to breach his tenancy agreement with his landlord. He wants to up sticks and move to Florida. So basically, he can suck Red's willy. That's what he wants to do. Reds is going to give him a job, and they're going to play Happy Families. And he wants 10 grand to do it. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, it's one thing to get. I mean, he's had GoFundMe's for a drone, for a funeral, commiserations, and all that. But nonetheless, get a job. But nonetheless, he's had 2 GoFundMe's recently, and the third one's now for 10 grand. And what it's encouraging, if you were to donate to it, it's encouraging to basically go against your word and breach a contract with a landlord who, let's be honest, has probably got a mortgage on the property himself and he's probably got bills to pay himself. He's encouraging people to breach that tenancy agreement and swan off to Florida to play Happy Families with Reds. 10 grand. Nothing to do with flat earth whatsoever. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So if you want to donate to Sean's begathon, go and find him on his channel somewhere. I'm not sure the link, but I just thought I'd share it because I just think it's hilarious that he can criticize anybody for e-begging.
It's absolutely disgusting. Smash the super chat if you want to support this channel.
Hey, Tony.
Oh, hey, Arwin.
Hey,
Arwin.
What are you talking about? Sean?
Arwin. Let me just let me say what I heard. I was listening to the show when you got aggressive and left. I think they were agreeing with you, Arwin. I think you might have misinterpreted them. I think you should go back and listen. And then tell them all that you love them and that you're all happy friends again.
No, they were not. They were refusing to engage and were telling me the blatantly obvious.
Come on, Arwin.
I told them that I know that's the blatantly obvious. So.
I know, but my point is that they weren't against you like you thought they were.
Against me. I was just annoyed.
I know.
I've had a pretty rough night, by the way. So may have something to do with it.
I tuned into your live stream for a few minutes to see you half naked and tuned right back out again.
Were you urinating then, Arwin? Sounded like you were taking a piss.
What? No, that's
just sounded like you were pissing into a glass.
What kind of an English person are you? That's tea.
Oh, right. It sounded like you were pissing into a glass or something.
Right. Oh, thanks for that.
Or when they eat their tea too, apparently. So.
A shout out to Good Servant for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed for your support. So yeah, I did see. I watched that whole video after the fact. I didn't know it was live, and saw you scrolling by in the chat, debating with some of the trolls in there.
But who was gonna move to Florida?
When I covered this, I didn't bring up any of this, and then Anthony's joined and just covered all the salacious stuff. So basically, from what I understand, Sean Hufford has got an agreement, a lease, and he wants to renege on it. I maybe misinterpreted it, because what I gleaned from it was that the 10 grand was just to pay off the amount for his lease, right? So he's free of the lease.
I'm not sure. He signed a renewal, and I think the 10 grand also covers him to move across town or across country or state, whatever, to Florida. I think that covers the removal costs. And I was just thinking if I should set up a GoFundMe for a holiday in Florida. I've always wanted to go to Disney World.
Wait. Because I wasn't listening before, really. They got GoFundMe set up so that he can move.
Yeah, I think so. Not so he can move, so he can get out of his tenancy agreement. I'm not sure what I wasn't listening to it proper. I was too busy trolling in chat, telling them all about gravity not being a force and stuff. But the bit I heard was along the lines of he wants to breach his tenancy agreement for whatever reason. He hasn't really got a good reason to do it. It doesn't sound like he just wants to go and sit. He wants to go and sit and play with Reds. That's what he wants to do. You're like an adult with responsibilities. He just wants to breach his contract.
What the hell?
Do you know the bad thing about coming to the U.S. though? Depending on where he moves, if they do a background check and they saw that he broke his lease or done something like that, they may not rent to him. So that could backfire on him.
Who cares? This is so lowbrow. Who cares? I don't care if he wants to use his platform to e-beg to move house, to be honest. I was more interested, and I tried this once, I'll try it again. Anthony's mentioned it, I'm sure I'll be successful on this try. So yeah, I saw your comments going by in the chat, Anthony. Yeah, debating with the fundies about their beliefs in gravity. That caught my eye, much more than the scrubbing through the boring bits about who said what to who about what money they need to maintain a general, level of comfort that apparently isn't a justifiable level of comfort according to Tim Osman. I couldn't care less. I really don't care.
I tell you what was pertinent though. There was one pertinent point that Tim Osman made, and he says, "I wonder why Sly wasn't involved in this." And now, normally, when Sly's involved, when Reds and Sean and GeoStream and all those morons are all together, Sly's usually there. And Tim says, "Yeah, but he has a proper job." And I just thought that probably is why he's not there. Oh, and by the way, but Sean's got sacked recently for whatever. I'm not sure what the reason is, but he's lost his job, so now he needs that's part of the money for recovering his financial needs and whatnot, which I empathise for him for. But 10 grand to move across the country to relocate yourself and play happy families with Reds. Go for me on Ball Earthers.
So
shout out to Sean for thinking that might work.
Who cares? It's just so inconsequential to me. I've got no empathy for any of this whatsoever, and unfortunately I've now got to discuss it in a way I don't like doing on air, but to make my comparison I've got to. So a couple of times Ranty's been saying, I'll give you a shout out and explain, you've got a family to feed now and all this, and I'm like, don't do that under any circumstances, because how is that any different to anybody else? Everybody's in that situation pretty much. I'm not saying everyone's got family, but everyone's got bills to pay and all that kind of boring crap that is not unique to me. What I would like them to smash the super chat, hit the PayPal link, all that stuff, is if they like the content. You know, the effort I put into producing this show, not talking about this bloody crap. Who cares if I suddenly need money for X, Y, or Z? You know, just give me money if you want to support the channel, you know, and what the channel does. Now, I understand your gripe because you're saying, well, this is nothing to do with Flat Earth or Globe Earth or debunking Flat Earth. It's just him wanting to move house and break his tenancy agreement. But we're talking about it now. I mean, God, it makes me feel sick.
Yeah, but what we can say is that we weren't just taking the piss. We were encouraging and supporting his GoFundMe.
I'm not.
I am.
Oh, okay. Well,
What are you doing?
Support somebody moving house. Nah, sod that. No, support me if you like us demolishing the globe and pointing out how you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. You know, that for me is what I would ask for support for, because that's what I love doing. B see is useful. You know, you know, if I'm on here saying give me money because I can't afford to feed my kids, then ridicule me for it. Just ridicule me flat out. I'm saying it right now. Just give me ridicule, give me shit, and unsubscribe if I end up doing that. Oh, check it out. Loads of super chats suddenly going in. Holy jeez. Right, shout out to No Proof. We love you, Arwin. Ballers like nothing new. Ballers lie. Nothing new. Yeah. Shout out to JQ also for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed. I don't care about your builds, Nathan. Good. So you should not. Who cares? Everybody's got builds. It's not your concern. If you like content, that's what I want people to super chat for. That's why I say it every show. And I do want you to super chat. Let's not make that in any way confused. Anyway, shout out to Agent Dubsky. £5, not for e-begging. For not e-begging. This is e-begging. Now I'm over about that as well. This is absolutely e-begging. When I say smash the super chat if you like the channel, or support the content by smashing the super chat, however I phrase it, that is absolutely e-begging. And I realise that's a derogatory term. Flatulent Unicorn says Rantony. Yeah, I don't know if they've picked up on that. I might not re-mention that. Thanks for the super chat anyway, Flatulent Unicorn. No Proof says, please destroy the globe. Exactly. That's what it's all about. That's what this show is about. That's what I know Anthony's comparison is. That's what Sean's show should be about, and it's become about him.
What globe?
Go ahead, Chocolate.
The other thing is,
there needs to be a globe to destroy it. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Two things.
Sorry, I just want to back that. Sorry, Anthony, I'm doing it as well now. Yeah, that's like a let's draw a humorous aside and call it a reverse reification fallacy, right? Yeah, it's got to be real first.
Exactly.
For you to smash it. Sorry, Anthony.
Hey, Chocolate, what the world are you talking about?
What the world am I talking about? What the globe am I talking about?
That's actually what in the world. That's the original statement.
Yeah.
Very specific. Not on the world. It's in the world. What in the world?
In the world or on the world?
What in the world? What in the world?
But if they say in, that suggests that we're in something, right?
Yep.
Why don't they ever say what's on the world or what on the world?
They like to spin it many ways.
Another quick shout out to the Observer one. He says globe proof is non-existent, and another shout out to Julio Pavon, who says unicorn farts for globers. Come and get them while they're hot. Woohoo!
Notice that he got the correct there as well. He got the apostrophe in the right place. So shout out for good grammar, Julio Pavon. Obviously, English is not your primary language, presumably, judging by your name. But you got the correct there, and there, which is what most people can't even do. So shout out to the grammar in that guy's message.
Yeah, another shout out to Julio. Thanks very much for the super chat.
I get it right.
We're not knocking you, Arwin.
No, we're not. And let me just say as well about super chats. The thing with super chats, it's twofold, right? Firstly, every time there's a super chat, the trolls get a cold shudder, right? So smashing the super chat, all the trolls just go, ugh. So that's what I always think when I see one. And the other thing is, like, you have to support the channels that basically you enjoy watching, because if you don't support them, they'll go. and that's why I'm here, because I enjoy watching. I mean, when Nathan had his issue at Christmas, right? Like I said, I aimlessly walked about around the house regurgitating housekeeping questions because I was that bored with it not being on. So smash the super chat and support the channels, otherwise it might not be here all the time. So smash it.
Shout out to No Proof says, sorry, chocolate. Exactly. What globe? Thanks for the super chat.
Yes, exactly.
Well, shout out to Sean Hufford for his e-begging and my moaning about it, triggering a string of super chats for me. That wasn't exactly my objective, but nevertheless, I'll take it. Thank you very much for everyone who just smashed the super
Shout out retracted.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, it's the best line ever. Oh.
So on that vein, Anthony, I was just going to say, along that vein, one of the subjects 6 months ago perhaps we covered was you calling Fraudio guy, because of his attempts to undo soundly feeding GeoStreamer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's a subject I always try.
Yeah, and do you remember when he said if there was a hangout, it would be his duty to find it, and he said he'd find it, and then he gave me a task to go and find the hangout that run random line in all the hangouts that you've done. I mean, how many have you done now? 1,000, and I found it in like 24 hours. He's never found that hangout that he said that I was listening to. Right, just bear that in mind.
What I was going to say was the consequences of their deception is what got discussed at length, whereas the actual subject matter being discussed with GeoStreamer being fed by Soundly over his whatever Discord channels, I don't know what method they used for him to feed GeoStreamer, but nonetheless, the subject matter itself was the Molten Iron core, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I actually can't remember what it was about. It doesn't matter, does it now? It's it was all about what was that noise.
It does. It does. That's the whole point. Because otherwise, if that fades into obscurity, what was the actual discussion about? I could have swore it was about the Molten Iron core and the.
I think it was. I think it might have been.
Isn't that the main? That's my point here. That if you end up discussing about people's GoFundMe's and people's disgracefully begging, smash the super chat, then you lose track of the focus of the subject matter, which is in that instance the Molten Iron core, the farcical nature of people presupposing a spherical Earth and putting a Molten Iron core that's self-perpetuating when it's beyond the Curie point. That would be my preference in terms of how that's got spun out. But by injecting some deception and gossip, the argument and whether it's won or lost and whether or not Earth is a sphere with a Molten Iron core self-perpetuating gets lost in that, doesn't it?
Kind of, yeah. I think maybe what you're asserting is that perhaps it was an intentional distraction to move away from the fact that GeoStreamer got absolutely pummeled for having no evidence for a Molten Iron core.
Exactly.
So I'm looking on my list of most popular videos, and that GeoStreamer citation sits in. It's my second most popular video at 14,000 views. This 30-minute debate destroys the ball. Well, you're right. It has acted, or it's been intended to not deceive, but distract away from the main point. So either way, they're knackered. But nonetheless, it's still a point that's in housekeeping. It stays in housekeeping, and it's never going to be removed. Remember, the deepest they've ever dug is 8 miles. Anything beyond that is, well, I don't know what the word is. Nonsense.
Speculation.
It's Narnia.
Well, it's based on it all converging at the same singular point, the centre of the Earth, a presupposed spherical Earth with all points on the surface directly leading to a centre point if you dug down. So, how are you going to back that shit? Shout out to Mark Doxy, says, at Sleeping Warrior, falsus in uno, falsus in omnibus.
That was good. Do you want to try that? Try that again, Nath.
Falsus in uno, falsus in omnibus. My Latin is failing me. Thanks for the super chat, Mark Doxy. Shout out to.
It just means get one thing wrong, get everything wrong. Or falsus means false. So false in falsus. False in uno is false in one. Falsus in omnibus is false in everything.
Okay. Omnibus is like a continuation, isn't it? So, okay, yeah, I gotcha. Very clever.
I'm not sure if it's a dig at me.
Yeah, but digging Latin, man, I'll take that any day of the week. Wicked.
I have no idea. I'm assuming that's a dig at me, but if that's a dig at me for £5, that's cool.
Yeah, I liked it. Not because it was a dig at you, but you know.
Pseudo streamer.
I was just about to read that. Shout out to Flatulent Unicorn for the super chat. It says pseudo streamer.
That's a great name. I'm going to use that from now on.
I like that.
Pseudo streamer.
That's brilliant.
In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use snipping tool. I'm going to reduce that down to it's like a decent size, and I'm just going to literally send it to GeoStreamer just because it's a great word.
Well, I had him as Geodeceiver. So
Yeah.
Pseudo streamer's better.
Copy that. Send it over to GeoStreamer. So consider Flatulent Unicorn. Consider your message delivered. Right, where are we? GeoStreamer. There you go, sir. You know what? His PC's blown up. Apparently, he's had to order a load of new PC bits to basically rebuild his PC. He had a really old, I think it was an i3 or an i5. I can't remember what it was now. Haswell, I think it might have been a Haswell chipset, and he's had to get rid of it and get a new one. He's got all of his parts: motherboard, processor, case, memory, hard drive. Apart from the processor, he's not got the processor. He can't build none of it.
It's GeoStreamer.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you were pulling the trick I pulled on Ranties yesterday. What a bastard. So, just for the audience's benefit, knowing full well that the show's about to round out at any moment, and I've got a premiering stream running at the same time, so mine had already started, I started talking about hi-fi for about 10 minutes. At the end, Randy's like, you do realise you've just got rid of most of my audience. I'm like, yeah.
It was rounding out anyway.
I know. It was funny. I thought it was funny.
Did you see Nathan Thompson's video where he caught up with some NASA fanboy in a shopping mall somewhere?
Yeah, was
literally
it a
had a
coffee
NASA t-shirt on. Have you seen it?
No, maybe not. I'm maybe mistaking it for the astronaut encounter in... man, he gets about
No.
Nathan Thompson.
Nathan, is that a Nathan Thompson or Nathan? The other Nathan. There's too many Nathans. Yeah, Nathan. What's the other guy? Nathan.
No, you tell me. This is your story.
There's Nathan Thompson, and there's another Nathan.
Nathan Thompson, and then there's a Nathan Roberts, I think.
Yeah, it's not Nathan Roberts. It's Nathan Thompson.
But it's Nathan Thompson. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the guy with the beard.
There's only one real Nathan.
So he ran into a shopping mall guy, a normie, walking around minding his business, wearing a black NASA t-shirt with a massive NASA logo on it. Nathan's wearing some flat Earth t-shirt related stuff, and he confronts him, and he basically starts off by asking him what makes him think it's a sphere. And they have a conversation. In the end of it, he ends up giving him a flyer. And the guy was polite, like he wasn't aggressive at all. But Nathan was like, "What are you talking about, dude? Think about this." And he goes, and he starts giving him all the back and forth. And this guy was minding his own business. He got absolutely flat pummeled, not flat smacked. He got beaten to a pulp politely. Shout outs to Nathan Thompson. He's an interesting guy, cool guy.
You got a link?
No, he's on. I see more of his work on Facebook than I do on YouTube. No, hang on. Nathan, no, I've not got it. I'll find you a link.
Damn, I've got a couple of minutes. If you can get it, I'll stick it in the live stream. Shout out to Nathan Thompson.
I'll get him a link. Hang on. Are we having a second show?
We are going to have a second show. I'm going to round out this particular live show. I'm going to do a second. Both of these will go out on the main channel over the weekend. But yeah, there'll be a second live show. But for those of you who are watching on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. But as that's a unique opportunity to actually round out quite concisely, I'll say a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of today's live debating panel for making this show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the live stream audience for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. As I say, stay tuned if you are watching on the premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Nathan, do you want to share that link in chat before the thingy
late.
shuts?
Arwin's already done it. Well done, Arwin.
How's he done it?
Copy paste.
But links don't go through. Oh, you got a spanner. You
Yeah, I'm in the
bastard.
second channel, so that these shows can go out on the majority of the people that will watch this will watch it on the main channel over the weekend. But to a
right,
limited...
so are we on?
Go on.
Are we not on 1980?
No, so it's Friday. So what I'll do, and have done for about 3 months, is run 2 shows, one after the other, both with a pre and after show, and then they get turned off. So that show that's just gone out, there's no point in me putting that in the live stream. I'm glad Arwin got it in because it'll go on the replay.
I know. That's why it was quick.
Thanks. Yeah, really appreciate it. I'm sure Nathan Thompson would appreciate it. I mean, I don't. I was about to say I don't care. Obviously, I do. I'm telling you to do it, but I'm saying Nathan Thompson would definitely appreciate that. I would appreciate it if I was being talked about on someone's show and one of the show mods went to the effort of digging out my link, sticking it out, and saying, "Go and subscribe to me." 3 seconds, well, not 3 seconds, maybe 2 minutes worth of work for somebody who's watching a show, presumably in their armchair. But it makes a big difference. And given that we don't get any promotion within the network of YouTube, we've got to do it ourselves, and that's how we do it. So Nathan Thompson, hope it helps. Hope somebody watches, sees Arwin's link, clicks on it, and goes and subscribes to him. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the good thing about posting it in the live chat is that it's still clickable.
Exactly.
In the replays, while everything that's just visible in the OBS display chat is not.
Exactly. I really like that feature, the live chat replay.
Yeah, agreed.
Because previously, video got rendered, Hangouts on air would finish, the chat disappears, and then the audience that has watched it, they're not going to come back and leave a comment once it's rendered and there's a comment section. Now, the comment section's open before the video even starts. You can leave a comment before on the comments.
Really?
Yeah. You go and you check it out. You'll often see your video starts, it's already got comments on it.
Weird.
Well, they just want the forum to start. They know that the interaction might take place after and before the video because it's just essentially become a forum, hasn't it? Your comment section's just then a forum for that material. And the chat feed, why not have it side by side? That was the live interaction. It's the live chat. So getting rid of it, I was always a bit heartbroken, as I know other people were. But now it's there. You can actually see the audience's interaction as it took place. I like that a lot.
What, they're going to take it away?
No, they didn't have it initially, did they?
Right. Yeah, it was an extra function that pretty much popped in all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome.
But when it did, I was like, that's a good function.
But that built the whole platform, really. That's what kept, viewers, a lot of viewers like to interact. Especially, if they can actually ask questions about what is being talked about, potentially live getting the answer.
Yeah, it is all about the interaction. It's just like an AOL or any other forum, the comment section. And the live chat is just like live chat from chat rooms. Again, back in the AOL days, the two are one and the same. They're no different. The only difference is there's a broadcasted bit alongside it. But other than that, it's identical to the stuff that you could do back in the 90s on AOL.
Yeah. And there's giant swaths of people that have dedicated their lives purely to going to this specific new medium and bother the hell out of everyone. Isn't that amazing?
Hey, Quantum Eraser, can you hear us? What's cooking?
Nothing cooking, man. I just woke up.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
There'll be another show shortly, once we round out this after show.
Doing 2 shows, so another live show. Yeah, another live show.
Yeah.
Did you plug Ballbusters for tomorrow?
No. Because there's no point. It's a much more tightly knit, might as well say it, smaller audience that it goes out to live, or that show that was just on goes out to. Whereas this conversation now goes out to the majority of people. But when this conversation goes out to the majority of people, Ballbusters has already happened. Like it'll have just finished an hour and a half ago.
That's great. Great news. It just keeps getting better. Thanks.
Okay.
It's all free advertising, John.
No, there wasn't any opportunities because I was doing something on Thursday. That's all good. Right, what I need is a compare because I don't know how that's killed the conversation, but it has. And as a result, I'm going to round out this show and just start another one. Hopefully that'll inject some life. Hopefully, Alwyn, you'll act as the compare while I do so. We shall see. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream again for smashing the super chat, hopefully, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Again, be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley. Another massive thank you to all of today's debating panel, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!